So what I do want it to impress upon your team, and I would like you to start impressing upon your team, that a write-off is not just a book entry. It occurs when the cost of doing the job is greater than the amount invoiced to the client. And the example that I usually give is just, for example, if you've got a client who manufactures chairs and it costs that client $80 to manufacture that chair, okay? But there are all the costs incorporated. Would you ever advise that client, if you've got one of their clients come along and say, you know what, I know that this chair, you're selling it for $100 a chair, but you know, if I buy 1,000 chairs, I'm not paying more than $80, or I'm paying $70. What would you advise that client? Forget it.
Mm.
Okay, so this is real money that we're talking about. And that's what we really need to change the culture of the firm too, so that we are talking about real money. It's real dollars that we're losing. And a lot of firms, for example, I know a lot of firms, when they're measuring their write-offs, it's a net write-off figure. So it's not just the write-offs of 10% or 20%. There are write-ons included in that as well, which is bringing that figure, that net figure down. So that we need to be aware of that. And we need to start to change our mindset as principals and partners of the firm. And we also need, as a result, to change the culture of the firm slowly and change the mindset and the behaviours of our team and of our clients. And we even have to challenge ourselves. And one of the things that I would like you to keep front of mind today is this client a client that is a good fit for my firm? Doesn't matter how big the fee is, doesn't matter how large the client is. If they're not a good fit, if we're not making a profit out of that client, if that client is pushing the boundaries constantly, then we need to reconsider what we're going to do and whether we keep them as a client. Okay, so this is not about just playing around the edges of what we do. This is about really thinking about how we run our firm and making some hard decisions, because we are in a market right now, which is the first time that I've ever seen it this tight, where not only is it difficult to get talent and to get staff to be able to do the work, and we're struggling with capacity, but it is also difficult for clients to find a good accountant. So we're in a really good position, and we need to value ourselves as accountants. Why do we ignore write-offs? In most firms, write-offs are ignored. So we underestimate the significance of it. We're actually losing money on doing that job. Okay. We always assume that it's either a training issue or it's an efficiency issue on our part. So that's why we cop it sweet, because we think, oh, that person, you know, we were training them on that job, and that's why we've had to write off time. And the second one is we blame ourselves for inefficiencies. We ignore write-offs because it's too late to deal with them, and we don't like looking backwards where our own business is concerned. I know that's what we do. We do with our clients, we look backwards, but we really need to have a look at why these write-offs are occurring. We're making the wrong assumptions about us being inefficient, for example. We assume that it's a cost of doing business. We don't know how to deal with them. So we find those problems. Well, what are we going to do about them? And we assume that we're to blame.